DJ here with ACHV PEAK, and today we're going to be doing a full body flexibility routine. For this routine, we're going to do 20 exercises performed all in a row for just one set each. Our working time is 60 seconds, our break time is 10 seconds. We will not be taking any extended breaks. If you like this workout, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get to stretching. All right, we got about 20 seconds until we get started with our warm-up. If you have a fitness tracking watch and you want to start your workout, be sure to do so now. Our first exercise that we're going into for the warm-up is going to be bodyweight squats. We're going to have our feet right about shoulder width apart, and then we're going to drop down, keeping that back nice and straight. Come back up. Here we go. Dropping down nice and easy. Coming up. There you go. If you only can do a partial squat, that's fine right now. And then every rep, just try to drop a little further down into it. There we go. Weight in the heels, back nice and straight. Don't forget to breathe. Nice and easy. Next, we're going to be going into arm circles. So we're just going to stand up, start with nice little small circles, move to some larger circles, and then in about 15 seconds, we will reverse it. There we go. So reverse. Don't forget to breathe. Feeling everything stretch out. Next, we're going into Cossak Squats. We're going to have our feet nice and wide. So what we do here, you just kind of drop down, and then we're going to move to the left, and then move to the right. Here we go. Trying to feel everything stretch out in the groin, in the legs. Here we go. If you need to come up, that's totally fine. Just come up, take a little break, try to drop back down into it. Next, going into chest openers. There we go. So we're going to stand up here, slight bend in the elbows, and then pull them back, open up the chest, bring it forward. When you come forward, cross those arms over. You can feel the back stretch out as well. Go nice and easy. Go at your own pace. After this, we're going to drop down to hip flexor to hamstring stretch. So you may need a mat if you have one or you need one. There we go. So what we're going to do, left leg forward, drop down into a hip flexor stretch, and then come back, straighten that leg out, lean forward, feel the hamstring stretch out, come back, go into the hip flexor, and then hamstring. There we go. Nice and easy. What we're doing here, switching sides. So, hip flexor, come back, hamstring. Hip flexor. Yep, I need that. Hamstring. Yep, I need that. Nice and easy. I'm not trying to overstretch it here, just trying to warm it up. Alright, we got about 20 seconds till we go into our actual flexibility routine. Grab some water if you need it. Our first exercise we're going into is a hamstring stretch on the left side. Also for this, you may need a bench or a chair for a few of the exercises. Hamstring stretch, get a nice little split stance. Left leg out in front. We're going to hinge at the hips, feeling that hamstring stretch out here. Right here, we're not going to go like this. We're going to try to stay up, stretch that hamstring. Another option, if you have a bench or a chair or something, you can elevate that foot and then do the same thing. Again, hinging at the hips, keeping the lower back nice and straight while we bend forward. Don't forget to breathe. When we're doing this, it's important to kind of try to push into the stretch, hold it for a few breaths, and then try to go a little bit deeper into the stretch and do the same thing. We pretty much repeat that for every exercise. There we go. And don't forget to breathe. If you want, you can lift that toe up off the ground. If you can grab it. It's going to help stretch out the calves a little bit. There we go. So what we're doing here, switching sides. Hamstring stretch, right side. If you want, you can start with that toe elevated, that's fine. Hinging at the hips, feeling the hamstring stretch out. Dropping down into a good spot, holding it there for a couple seconds, a few breaths, and then trying to drop a little deeper into the stretch. Again, if you want, you can kind of pull that calf up. So I'm trying to pull up on it here, or your toe, not your calf, to stretch your calf. There we go. Again, keeping that lower back nice and straight while we do this. Don't forget to breathe. If you need to come up and take a break, that's fine. Come up, a few breaths, and then drop back down into it. After this, we're going to be going into a middle split stretch. Stretch it out. Try to drop down a little further. There we go. Come up nice and easy. Get those feet nice and wide. What we're going to do is kind of try to push them out as far as you can and hold it there. There we go. So my feet are actually just slowly sliding out here. There we go. If that's maybe a little too tough for you, an option is going to be to take a knee. So you can actually kind of take a knee and do the same thing. And then put it out there, and then what you can do is kind of use your hands. So you can put your weight on your hands, slide that leg out, and then try to sit up like this, feeling everything stretch out in the groin and in the hips. So that's an option. And then if you're gonna do it that way, you're just gonna need to switch at the halfway point. What I like to do is kind of put my hands up here and actually try to push my hips forward and lean my upper body back. Man, do I feel my hips open up. To me, open up. There we go. I'm just going to come up out of this. We're going to drop down on the ground for a 90-90 stretch on the left side. So both knees at a 90, left one out in front. And then from here, we're going to lean forward. Again, at the hips, not at the lower back. On the side or right here. And then leaning forward. So I have my left leg forward, and what I do is I use my left hand or arm to push me forward while trying to maintain a straight back. So that way I can push deeper into the stretch. Don't forget to breathe. Good controlled breaths. Remember, we're going to drop into the stretch, a few breaths. When you start to kind of feel it relax, we're going to try to push deeper into the stretch. There we go. So what we're going to do here, switch sides. Right leg out in front. There we go, leaning forward, making sure keeping that lower back nice and straight. Don't forget to breathe. Feel that muscle relax, and then try to push a little bit deeper into the stretch. Breathe. Next, we're going into a hip flexor stretch on the left side. There we go. So we're going to come up, have that left leg out, right knee down, engage the glute. Oh, sorry, that should be the opposite way. Right leg out, left knee down, engage the left glute, and then we're gonna sink forward. Trying to stretch left hip flexor right now. So right here, engage the glute, and then sink down into it. Make sure to keep your upper body nice and straight. We don't want to lean forward like this. Not on this one, at least. Here we go. If you want, you can put those arms up, kind of lean back. Feeling everything stretch out, trying to sink the hips down to that front heel. Really push into it. While we're doing the next one, switching sides. Switching sides. Remember to engage the glute before we push down into the stretch. There we go. Squeeze the glute and then start pushing forward. Good controlled breathing. Again, if you want, you can put those hands up. Try to push a little deeper into it. Next, we're going to be going into a kneeling calf stretch on this left leg. So we're just going to pull that left leg in. There we go. So we're going to stay on that right knee, pull our left leg way in here, and then what we're going to do is try to slowly transition our weight onto that left leg. So right here, and then slowly transition the weight onto that left foot. Your knee will be way out over your toe, which is totally fine. What I like to do is kind of grab my toes on that side and try to pull myself down so I can get that added little stretch, little tension there. Really trying to push down on it. I'm trying to keep my heel slightly off the ground here too. It's important to note that. We want to be pushed forward, stretching the calf out with the knee bent. So we're trying to put as much weight as we can onto that left foot. If you have like a really heavy dumbbell or a kettlebell or something like that, you could actually sit it on your knee right here to create even more tension. Alright, we're just switching sides here. Kneeling calf stretch, right side. Go. Again, our weight and knee are going to be out over it. Weight on that right leg. There we go. Don't forget to breathe. Trying to put as much weight as we can onto that foot. Stretching that calf out. If you want to kind of pull down on it, you can. There we go. Next, going into downward dog. So, we come up out of this. Get our feet out, hands up here. And then what we're going to try to do is sink the shoulders down and then stretch out the calves. Push forward here. There we go. Matt wants to slide. So if this is a little too difficult for you, maybe on your shoulders, or you get a little dizzy or a little too much blood to your head, what you can do is actually just do a calf stretch using the wall. So make sure you have a stable wall. Get those feet out and then push using your hands on the wall and stretch out those calves. There we go, just like that. You can just alternate doing that. Don't forget to breathe. Next, we went into a quad stretch. This is the exercise you might need a bench or a chair or even your couch for. An ottoman, if you have one, would be great. There we go. So, if you don't have any equipment, what you could do for this is just kind of grab that leg and go like that. I like to use a bench. So, what I do here is just drop down here. And then what we're trying to do is just push our butt back to our heel, keeping our upper body nice and straight. We don't want to lean forward while we're doing this. Another option is to use a wall when we're doing this. So kind of pull that leg up and then make sure again you have a nice stable wall. And then you can just kind of lean up against the wall. Doing it that way you're not actually having to hold your leg the entire time. There we go. Don't forget to breathe. Switching sides, quad stretch, right side. There we go. Sinking back here, making sure the upper body's staying nice and straight again. I can stretch my right quad much further than my left. I don't even think on my left one I can get my butt to touch my heel. On my right, it can go much further. There we go. Don't forget to breathe. Make adjustments as needed. If you don't feel it, or maybe the stretch is a little too easy or too tough, make a little quick adjustment. You don't have to just sit there and wait for the time to run out. Next, we're going to be sitting down on our butt. We're going to go into hurdler stretch. There we go. So, we're going to come out here. Right leg goes out. Left leg gets pulled back. From here, what we're going to do is try to lean forward. There we go. Making sure that we're leaning at the hips, not the lower back. Again, I'll use my right arm here to kind of help push me forwards. Here we go. If you want to stretch out in the hamstring on this right leg, if you want, you can kind of grab that toe, pull it. If you want to stretch those calves out a little more. Don't forget to breathe. Trying to drop a little further into the stretch every 10 or 15 seconds. I don't know what we're doing here, switching sides. Left leg comes out, right leg comes back. Leaning forward at the hips, stretching out the hamstring, feeling the hamstring, the calf, maybe the lower part of the glute. There we go. Don't forget to breathe. Drop a little further into that stretch. All right, next we're going into a frog pose. So what we're going to do here is get on our hands and knees, try to get our knees out nice and wide. And then once we have them out nice and wide, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of push back into a little bit of a child's pose look. And then we're going to alternate pushing forward, sinking those hips down. And if you want to just kind of hang out on one more than the other, that's totally fine. If you feel a spot where you're extra tight, then you can just kind of hang out there and try to stretch that out. There we go. Try to get those knees a little wider as you go through this. Don't forget to breathe. If you need to come out of this, that's totally fine. Take a break. Try to drop back into it. All right, next we're going into a seated shoulder extension. So we're going to be on our butt here. You can have your fingers facing back or your fingers facing down towards your feet. From here, chest out, and then what we're going to do is slowly rock our butt further away from our hands, keeping our back nice and straight, trying to keep those arms nice and straight, feeling the shoulders stretch out. So what I always feel is when my fingers are facing down towards my feet, I feel the stretch really isolated on my front delts. So when I turn them back a little bit, I kind of feel it kind of move more into the chest. Feel my chest open up along with those front delts. Now we're going to stand up. We're going to go into a back stretch here. So all we're going to do, pull that right arm across, and then grab it, pull it with the left hand, and then about halfway, we will switch sides. Pulling open, feeling that back stretch out. Don't forget to breathe. All right, let's switch it up. Bring the left arm across, put the right arm under it and over, and then pull with that right arm, stretch that left side of the back out. Don't forget to breathe. Next, we're going to be going into a bicep stretch. So what we're going to do here is put our hand up on the wall. You can't really see it, but putting the hand on the wall right here, like that, and then just kind of trying to open. So what we're going to do is hold our palm on the wall, and then try to pull and open the chest, and you'll feel it kind of from the shoulder into the bicep. There we go. So if I'm over here, we're going to switch sides here. If we're over here, now you can kind of see it maybe a little better. Just like that is how we're doing it. You know, if I was more flexible, you could probably actually see my arm. There we go. Try to keep that palm up against the wall the entire time. Next, we're going to do a chest stretch. So you can do this one up against the wall or on the ground. Up against the wall, just kind of face the wall, have your whole body on the wall right here, arm out, and then what we're gonna do is slowly rotate our body away from the wall, trying to keep our shoulder on the wall. So we don't want our shoulder to lift, because once our shoulder lifts, when we push it, it's kind of pushing that shoulder joint out, which we don't want to do. So if you want to do this on the ground, what you can do is lay flat on the ground, arm out, and then use the right arm to push. When you're stretching the left arm, switch sides, right arm goes out, use the left arm to push. Again, trying to keep that shoulder on the ground or on the wall. And you can kind of move your arm like up or down here to see where it stretches the best. Just make sure to keep the shoulder on the ground or on the wall. That's important. There we go. All right. Last one we're going into is a tricep stretch. So we're going to bring our arm up and over here. Use the other arm, kind of pull it down, just like that. So pulling it down. There we go. Letting it stretch out. Feel it stretch. Once it relaxes a little bit, try to pull it deeper into that stretch. Switch sides. There we go. Don't forget to breathe. There we go. We are finished. Now I feel semi-flexible. Still not really flexible, but that's just me. I hope you feel nice and flexible, nice and stretched out. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. If you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and I'll see you on the next one. See you guys.